Hello there. Today we shall handle another important aspect of our life. But before that, let me ask you, do you really think human beings are the greatest creation of God? And they're more advanced than all other beings? We are right, but there is a point to note here. It is the human being who are most miserable in this world. Have you heard of a miserable cow? A sad dog? A frustrated snake? Or a melancholy bird? It doesn't happen. No other animal, no other community suffers like the human beings do. This suffering has been consequential with the human race, has been contemporary with the human race. Why it is so? That is the point which we want to discuss today. Greed, acquisition, these are the perspective of most people in this world. We are not satisfied. And we want more and more and more and more all the time. There is nothing wrong about asking more, but there is something wrong about the purpose of asking more. Why do we want more? The moment we want more for our own self, immediately we shall wreak miseries into our lives, pains into our lives, sufferings into our lives. But the moment we change that purpose of asking more from ourselves to serve this whole world, the whole scenario becomes different. And that is the way to peace. That is the way to harmony. And that's the most constructive spirit with which we human race need to work. But most of us invest in our greeds. We invest in that wretched small g. The greed has another format called getting. We only want to get. We don't care. Why do we want so much to get? But we just want to get. In every step, in every walk of our life, in every perspective, we go out with this attitude, what's there in it for me? Now create a logbook and start off today. Forget about yourself. You are a good guy, but go out and begin the day. And just check up every interaction with every person in the outside world. Mark very carefully what they talk. What's their objective? What are they looking for? In every statement they make, in every interaction you have with them, if you are alert, you will discover that perspective, what's in it for me. So in their paradigm, in their psychology, in their whole personality, this perspective of getting more and more and more and more. And what is the result? Frustration. You heard about that beautiful story written by none other than Leo Tolstoy. That guy wanted to have all the 300 acres. And the owner of the land threw up a challenge to him. Have this horse and look at this vast land. You want to have more land? Today is your day. Ride on this horse, and by 5 o'clock in the evening, as much of land as you can cover, but you got to come back here at the starting point. Go on circle. This whole land is mine. The whole land can be yours. Ride on this horse and go round. The place that you end, if you can complete the circle, the whole land will be yours. And this guy wanted the whole land. He boarded the horse And he went away throughout the day. He was tired. He wanted to stop. At certain points, he said, my God, I cannot carry anymore. I should end. But he didn't stop. He went ahead and ahead and ahead and ahead. He went round and round. And it was almost impossible for him to complete the circle. Does it mean that his whole labor is wasted? If he doesn't complete the circle, he gets nothing. And if he completes the circle, the whole land is yours. So he tried once again. He got a little more energy. And he completed by 5 o'clock, came back to that starting point. At the moment he comes to that starting point, he just falls down from the horse, and his body was absolutely flat. There was no life in the body. And then that box was brought for him, and he was placed in the box. He was a tall man, so the box also had to be long. It was a whole 8 feet big box. And Leo Tolstoy says, ultimately that is the space, that much of land you need, but we always want more. Read this beautiful story, How Much of Land a Man Needs, the famous story of Tolstoy. So all miseries, all sufferings, all predicaments, all adversities of our lives are there in our perceptions only because we have this, what's there in it for me? And this attitude I called a small g, getting. And I'm pretty sure you agree. Most people in this world are victimized by this disease. I call it a gating disease or a small g disease. What is the solution? The solution lies in the opposite. It is always the opposite which is the solution. Giving, the capital G. So we are talking about a transformation from small g to capital G, from a getting perspective to giving perspective. Just think of it. You feel good when you get a gift, don't you? And suppose you buy a costly gift for your beloved and present the one to him or her, how do you feel? When you compare the intensity of your joy of getting with the joy of giving, which one is more? I'm pretty sure when you give something to someone with all your heart, sincerely, not as an obligation, I'm pretty sure your joy is much bigger. That's why Mother Teresa said, give until it hurts. And the season of giving is now. Begin right away. All your energies that we spend and invest for our getting, if we just change the perspective and the purpose and put our energies for giving, the whole thing is baptized. Our whole life changes. Our miseries just leave our life. And we have peace, we have harmony, we have joy. Because in the getting perspective, the central psychology that works is self, me. And Swami Vivekananda, one of the greatest saints of India, had beautifully said, expansion is life, contraction is death. Love is expansion, selfishness is contraction. Love, therefore, is the only law of life. Beautiful, isn't it? This great saint had clarified beautifully that opposite of love is not hate. Opposite of love is selfishness. Because when we work with getting, it is only ourself for whom we want. There is no other person in our world. We are wanting it only to enrich ourselves. We are so selfish. We are so mean in that perspective. And that's why in that selfish domain of our life, we are alone, we are lonely. And whenever there is loneliness, there is suffering. Whenever there is loneliness, there is pain, there is isolation. Our life becomes a kind of island where we stay alone. And that's not about living. True living is about living with others. The true living is about living with everyone. So, how about changing that small g into capital G today? When you make a transformation in your perspective and purpose of your existence, check up everything that you do. Are you doing it for getting or are you doing it for giving? The moment you change your perspective to giving from getting, everything works out wonderfully. Your life becomes a paradise, a flower garden. There is no other animal, there is no vegetable in this world which lives for themselves. The message that comes from nature is only about giving. The gardens give fragrance. The ocean creates clouds. The clouds gives rain. Every element of nature teaches us only that concept of giving. It is only human being, because humans were created with that I perspective, with that ego perspective. And that ego inside us all the time teaches us, you are important, you are different, you must be richer, you must be better, you must be ahead of others. And that's why ultimately we have created a world of disharmony, where students are competing with another students, teachers are competing with teachers, schools are competing with schools. A society is competing with another society. A religion is competing with another religion. A country is competing with another country. What is in the core? That singular perspective. Getting. That small individual element in the psychology of man has percolated into war, into unrest, into disharmony, into anarchy, in every corner of the society. So, in this new era of transformation, in this new era of evolution, every teacher, every communicator, every parent has to change their perspective from small g to capital G. Every child of the new generation need to learn that concept of giving. Then only the doctor will not become a doctor in order to be richer. The accountant will not be a professional accountant only to be richer. The engineer will not be qualified as an engineer only to earn more money. The real concept of education eternally in the ancient Oriental arena, in Takshashila and Nalanda, has been come to learn and go to serve. The whole perspective of education is to teach people to be responsible, accountable to the world. Take the responsibility of all other people. And that's the core of excellence. How we are excellent? Not because we have more money in our bank, not because we got a bigger house and a costlier car. We are excellent because we have more humanity. We are excellent because we are able to contribute in our other people's lives. I love saying, anyone who comes in my course, do you want to go to the top? Everyone raises their hand and said, yes, I want to go to the top. And then I tell them, well, before you start going to the top, think of the word top, T-O-P. And whenever I think of the word top, I always get the expansion of these three letters, the other person. Long time ago, I took a brilliant training course, and I teach the course also. The greatest thing happened in my life when I completed the course. And I remembered when I was a child, and I used to study in my primary school. In that simple village school where I studied, where economically backward people, my father was also not very well to do. I came from a very middle class family, and we could afford a local rural school. The school was small, but I can't forget the headmaster of that school, that lean man, without any hairs on his head. He used to run around with the children. He didn't have a separate chamber. There was a small table in the corner, and he used to sit there and he used to take care of every child. And behind his seat, there was an old, rubbed away, green color board where few letters, a sentence was written. We never understood the meaning of that sentence, but we never missed reading it. Whenever we passed through that headmaster's desk, that board used to be there. You know what was written there? I just now told you that. Come to learn, go to serve. I never understood the meaning until I took that training course where our trainer first time defined success, leadership. And he said, leadership is contribution in the lives of others. Leadership is playing your part in other people's life. Make their life happier, richer to live in. And on the graduation day, when the dais was given, my eyes were soaked with tears because a new me was born there, and I realized the true meaning of life. And I declared that in my graduation testimonial, that today I really understand the meaning of that sentence, which says, come to learn, go to serve. And my training was complete on that day, and I took a mission of teaching the same thing. And that's what I did right now. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to share with you what is very close to my heart. And I request you to invest in this principle of transforming your life from small g to capital G, from the realm of getting to that exalted realm of giving. Thank you very much. See you next time.